Did you know that silence can be louder than words? Carl Jung, whose insights into the human soul have revolutionized our understanding of ourselves, once said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." Today, we embark on a profound journey to uncover a secret that changes everything: how a woman with high self-esteem sets boundaries without saying a single word, thereby bringing about a transformation that speaks for itself. This is not about revenge, but about dignity, not about screams, but about the silence that changes the world. Why is it so hard to stop tolerating what doesn't deserve your time? We women often tend to give too much of ourselves in the hope that our affection will be reciprocated. We write long messages, wait for replies, and accept indifference, believing it is only temporary. But Jung taught us that true strength begins when we stop seeking validation on the outside and start valuing ourselves from within. Imagine a woman who gave everything for years, her time, her energy, her love, but only got crumbs in return. She wasn't weak. She was true to her heart. But one day, she looked in the mirror and said, "Enough." That moment changed everything. Jung explained that our shadow is the parts of us we hide, the fear of rejection, the desire to be chosen, the willingness to suffer for love. When a woman recognizes this shadow, she stops being a victim of her feelings. She doesn't become cold, but gains clarity. She doesn't close her heart, but protects it with dignity. Consider how often you have stayed where you were not valued. How often have you justified the indifference of others, hoping that everything would change? That is not weakness, but human nature. But strength begins when you choose yourself. The first step to this strength is silence. Jung taught that silence is not the absence of words, but the presence of awareness. When a woman stops answering late-night calls, suggesting plans, or justifying the convenience of others, she is not punishing. She is setting boundaries. This silence says, "I value myself too much to waste my energy on someone who doesn't do the same." Imagine how you would feel if you stopped chasing someone who doesn't meet you halfway. That feeling is the beginning of your freedom. But why is silence so powerful? Because it breaks familiar patterns. A man who is used to your constant availability is suddenly confronted with emptiness, not with anger or accusations, but with the absence of your energy. Jung said the unconscious reacts to changes. When you stop being predictable, his soul begins to ask questions. Why isn't she answering? What has changed? This is not manipulation, but a natural consequence of your self-respect. Another key is the refusal to react. Jung taught that reacting to a provocation gives away your power. When he texts late, ignores you, or makes ambiguous remarks, your response gives him the power. But when you choose silence, you take that power back. You are saying, "My energy is too precious to be wasted on games." Consider, when you reacted to his behavior, did you feel stronger or weaker afterward? Silence is not weakness, but an affirmation of your worth. But how do you start? First, you must recognize your patterns. Jung said that what we do not see in ourselves controls us. Write down the moments when you gave more than you received. What drove you? Fear of being alone, the desire to be loved? Second, set a small boundary. Don't reply to a message immediately. Say no to a plan that doesn't suit you. These steps will show you that you can choose yourself without feeling guilty. If these words touch your heart, if you are ready to become the woman who respects herself, then show your appreciation for this wisdom. Subscribe to this channel. Become one of those who choose dignity and depth. How many of us will there be? Those who are ready not just to listen, but to act, to create a life where you are your own highest value. We are just beginning. Discoveries await us on how to set boundaries that speak louder than words, how to avoid pitfalls, and how to become a woman who is not only respected, but also inspires. For now, ask yourself the question, what can I stop doing today to respect myself more? This question is your first step toward the power of silence that Jung spoke of. What if your silence could rewrite the rules of the relationship? Carl Jung said, "Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes." In this part, we explore how you set boundaries without saying a word, and how this transforms you into a woman who cannot be ignored. It's not about being cold, but about becoming so whole that your energy speaks for itself. Boundaries show others how you value yourself. If you continue to respond to late-night calls, agree to last-minute plans, and tolerate indifference, you send the signal, "My time is not valuable." But when you choose silence, you are saying, "I deserve better." This is not a punishment, but an affirmation of your worth. Think about how many times you have agreed to something that didn't suit you, just so you wouldn't lose him. How did that affect your self-esteem? The first step to setting boundaries is awareness. Jung said that whatever we do not recognize controls us. Pay attention to the moments when you feel undervalued. Perhaps when he doesn't reply for hours or cancels plans without explanation. Note these moments and ask yourself, why do I tolerate this? The answer may be painful. Fear of being alone, the hope that he will change. But Jung taught that the truth sets you free. Instead of saying, "You don't value me," simply stop being available. Don't reply to a message immediately. Decline a meeting if it doesn't respect your time. This is not a game, but a decision for yourself. Jung warned that justifications are a way of giving away your power. When you explain why you can't meet or apologize for your boundaries, you give him the power to argue with you. Instead, simply say, "It doesn't work today," or "I have other plans." This is short, clear, and powerful. Such boundaries are effective because they break expectations. A man accustomed to your availability suddenly encounters a void. His unconscious, as Jung described it, begins to search for answers. He wonders what has changed, why she no longer waits. This does not arouse anger, but interest. He begins to see you as a woman who must be respected, not as a given. Now, let's talk about mistakes. The first mistake is guilt. Jung said guilt is a shadow that keeps us stuck in the past. When you set boundaries, you might feel selfish or fear that he will leave. But this is not selfishness, it is self-care. Jung also taught that we cannot control others, only ourselves. If you set boundaries so that he understands something, you are still giving him the power. Do it for yourself, not for his reaction. How can you practice this? Start small. Say no to a suggestion that doesn't appeal to you. Then Observe your feelings. If guilt arises, ask yourself what it is teaching you. Third, be consistent. Jung said the unconscious respects consistency. When you set a boundary, stick to it. These boundaries are not a wall, but a bridge to your wholeness. Jung said a woman who respects herself becomes a beacon. She doesn't scream her worth. She lives it. What if pain is not an enemy, but a teacher? Carl Jung said, there is no coming to consciousness without pain. In this part, we explore how to transform the pain of indifference, rejection, or broken trust into wisdom that makes you stronger. It's not about forgetting, but about using your wounds to become a woman who knows her worth. If you are enjoying this journey, click subscribe. It's free, and there's no excuse not to become one of those who choose wisdom. Jung taught that pain is a signal that something within us requires attention. When a man ignores you, cancels plans, or gives you less than you deserve, it hurts. But this pain is not a punishment, but an invitation to look within. Think about how often you have felt pain from his indifference. What was this pain trying to tell you? Perhaps it whispered, you deserve better, or stop giving your energy where it is not valued. Jung said, what you resist persists. If you deny your pain, hide it behind a smile or distractions, it moves into the shadow and controls you. Instead, engage with it. Ask it, what do you want to show me? Perhaps it's the fear of being alone? Perhaps an old wound from when you were not chosen? Embracing the pain is not weakness, but courage. The second step is the search for meaning. Jung believed that every pain holds a lesson. Perhaps his indifference showed you that you have put others before yourself for too long. Perhaps his absence taught you to value your own time. These lessons are your treasures that make you wiser. Instead of blaming him, ask, how can I use this pain to become better? Perhaps you start dedicating yourself to what you love instead of waiting for his call. Now for the pitfalls. The first is getting stuck in the pain. Jung warned that if we cling to suffering, it becomes our identity. You might think, I will always be the one who is not chosen. But that is an untruth. The pain is not you, but just a moment in your story. Jung also said that revenge is a way of giving away one's power. When you are silent to punish him, you are still bound to him. True silence is not about him, but about you. It is the decision not to waste energy on those who do not appreciate it. To practice this transformation, keep a journal. Write down your feelings and the lessons you are learning. Do something for yourself every day. A walk, a book, a meditation. This reminds you that you are the center of your life. And thank the pain. Jung said that gratitude transforms wounds into wisdom. Thank it for showing you your strength. What if your dignity could change everything around you? Carl Jung said, he who respects himself becomes a beacon for others. This part is about becoming a woman whose strength lies in her serenity, whose worth needs no proof, and whose presence commands respect. It is not about being unattainable, but so whole that no one dares to belittle you. Jung taught that dignity is not a mask, but an inner truth. A woman who knows her worth doesn't shout it out. She lives it. Her silence, her refusal, her calm speak louder than any words. Have you noticed how people start to respect you when you respect yourself? Jung said, "We cannot give to others what we do not give to ourselves." When you tolerate disrespect, you send the signal, "I don't value myself." But when you set boundaries, you say, "I deserve better." Jung also warned that comparisons are a trap that robs you of your power. If he mentions another woman or tries to provoke you, don't play the game. Instead, smile and say, "That's interesting," and continue living your life. Your dignity lies in not having to prove that you are better. You are already enough. The third step is to live from abundance. Jung said, "A woman who is fulfilled attracts like a magnet." Fill your life. Find hobbies. Surround yourself with people who inspire you. Pursue your dreams. When you lead a fulfilled life, you're not afraid of losing him because you know that your worth does not depend on him. Another pitfall is reacting to provocations. Jung said, "Every reaction to disrespect gives away your power." When he tries to arouse jealousy or ignores you, your anger or tears give him control. Instead, maintain your composure. Your dignity is the shield that protects you. Jung also warned that sacrifices for love are a path to self-loss. When you cancel your plans to be with him or tolerate his indifference, you lose your power. Instead, choose yourself. How do you practice dignity? Start small. Refuse an action that disrespects you. Second, remember your worth. Write down 3 things that make you unique. Third, be consistent. When you set a boundary, keep it. Dignity does not mean being cold or unapproachable. It means being so complete that your energy speaks for itself. What if your silence could be more powerful than any scream? Carl Jung said, "Silence is the language of the soul that has found itself." This part is about transforming silence into a force that not only protects you, but also inspires others to respect your worth. It is not about ignoring, but about becoming a woman whose silence speaks of her dignity and strength. The first step to this power is awareness. Jung said that awareness of one's own shadow is the path to freedom. Notice the moments when you want to respond, justify yourself, prove your worth. Ask yourself, why do I feel the need to react? Is it the fear of being misunderstood, the desire to be loved? Recognizing these motives gives you power over them. The second step is choosing silence. Jung taught that silence is not a weakness, but a choice. When he provokes you, waits for a reaction, or gives less than you deserve, do not get into an argument. Instead, smile, take a step back, and take care of your life. This silence says, "I value myself too much to play these games." Jung said, "Our energy is our most valuable resource." When you waste it on arguments, justifications, or attempts to change him, you lose yourself. Instead, direct this energy toward yourself, your dreams, hobbies, and friends. Now to the pitfalls. The first is false silence. Jung warned that silence out of resentment or anger is not strength, but a reaction. True silence comes from the peace within you. When you are silent to punish him, you are still bound to him. The second pitfall is inconsistency. Jung said the unconscious respects consistency. If you are silent today but return to old patterns tomorrow, you lose your power. Be steadfast. If you have set a boundary, keep it. Start with small steps. Do not reply to a message that upsets you. Direct the energy toward yourself. Do something that fills you with joy. And be thankful for the silence. Thank your silence for protecting you. What if your life could become an inspiration for everyone around you? Carl Jung said, "Become who you are, and the world will follow you." In this final part, we summarize everything we have learned and build a life in which you not only respect yourself, but also inspire others with your strength, dignity, and love. And remember to subscribe to the channel, otherwise you risk remaining among those who blame the world instead of growing from within. You have learned that silence is strength, that boundaries are a mirror, and that pain is a teacher. Now it is time to apply this wisdom to become a woman who not only lives, but shines. The first step is wholeness. Jung said, "Self-love is the foundation of all healthy love." Write down 3 things that make you unique and remind yourself of them every day. Stop seeking validation from the outside. You are already enough. The second step is to live from abundance. Fill your life. Find a passion that ignites you. Surround yourself with people who inspire you. Pursue your dreams. The third step is freedom. Jung said, "Love that binds dies." Allow yourself to be free from expectations, free from the fear of rejection, free from the need to prove your worth. This freedom makes you inspiring. Jung believed that gratitude transforms the ordinary into the sacred. Thank yourself for the courage to set boundaries. Thank life for its lessons, even the painful ones. Thank him for showing you your strength. This gratitude creates a life full of meaning. A woman who lives with dignity changes the world. Her silence, her boundaries, her self-love are not just for her, but also for others. They show that respect begins from within. They teach that love is not a sacrifice, but a choice. Another key is faith. Jung said, "Faith in oneself is the bridge to a new life." Believe that you deserve love that respects you. Believe that you can create a life full of joy. Believe that your boundaries are not walls, but doors to something better. Jung said, "Love is not what you feel, but what you do." Love yourself by taking care of your soul. Love the world by sharing your joy. Love him by respecting his path, but not losing your own. A life of dignity is not a dream. It is a reality that you can create, and I believe you are ready. Subscribe to continue to grow, to learn, and to find the power that lives within you. And now, begin. Become the woman who not only respects herself, but changes the world with her love.